What's up, Buckeye Nation? We got a new sheriff in town, or do we? With Will Howard announcing his commitment to the Buckeyes this week. I am excited to talk about it with you guys, though. It's been too long. It's been a rough offseason for our Buckeyes. It's been a rough offseason for us here at Scarlet and Great, but we got some new additions to the Scarlet and Great family, but I'll let Johnny Bullitt, kind of talk about that the next time he's on. But I'm excited to be here with you guys as we break this down here. Scarlet and Great here on YouTube. My name is Shane Larson, also known as the Game Time Guru, here in my home office. I just ask you guys to like this video, subscribe to the channel, help us build this. I know we've struggled in the past to provide consistent content outside of the season. We're trying to do a better job at that this offseason because there's going to be plenty to talk about as we roll into 2024. And right now we have to watch that team up north play in the national championship this upcoming Monday. And I'm sure there's going to be something to talk about there too, as we've got to wait for that offseason to start. But there is so much good, bad, whatever to talk about. So first and foremost, Will Howard, guys, K-State quarterback, announces his commitment to Ohio State. This is after Kyle McCord leaves for Syracuse, hits the transfer portal, heads out prior to the Cotton Bowl. And in that Cotton Bowl, I mean, we could go on a whole discussion there. We were all kind of left with a bitter taste in our mouths, I would say. At least I was, right? Bitter taste in our mouths with the way the season ended. I mean, it was super disappointing the way we ended up losing to Michigan. And then to come out and look like we did against Missouri, which if you guys follow me on Twitter, before Devin Browning went down, I actually thought Missouri would match up with us pretty well, but they were atrocious as well. That was an awful bowl game. Just everything about that bowl game was terrible. They did not look good. And then having Devin go down and having to put in Lincoln in there in a tough situation. It was just not a good taste for Buckeyes fans. And I get that. And you're all probably there with me. It was a hard pill to swallow as we kind of just all sat there like, oh boy, that was just not the season we wanted. A lot of people frustrated. A lot of people overreacting, in my opinion. And some people that were kind of not overreacting, but, thinking realistically of what's the next steps for Ohio State football. What's the next steps for Ryan Day and the rest of this coaching staff? What are we going to do here? We've got random guys hitting the transfer portal. We got all this stuff happening. And then Will Howard's news came out. And I've also seen a mixture of opinions here. And so I want to break that down with you guys. Will Howard, is he better than Kyle McCord, first and foremost? Is he better? Let's break it down. And will he be the starter? Everyone just assumes that he's going to be the starter because he has the experience. Now, I will give him that. That's something that we need at this position at this particular time. And based on Ryan Day's current situation and status with the team, I would argue that he's probably looking for someone with experience right now. And that's what, Ohio State fans wanted, a transfer portal type of quarterback right now. That's what we've been talking about. I mean, I've heard it all over social media. Everybody wanted someone with experience that could help lead them right now. And Ryan Day's feeling the pressure guaranteed. He knows he has to win. And I would argue that because of that point, I would say Howard is the favorite at this moment to start next year. Now, let's look at the statistics, right? We all hated on Kyle McCord as being a game manager and his lack of, letting the ball fly sometimes. But Kyle McCord did have a 3,000-yard passing season with limited interceptions. So he did take care of the ball, but I think he sat back in the pocket too long. He held onto it really, really long. And there was the argument of, was McCord trying to pad his stats? Now, I've been a McCord supporter all season long. You guys know that if you guys have been following the channel. But man, oh man, there were some times where it was frustrating, right? He was late on some throws. He missed some reads, but he still had a 3,000-yard passing season with limited turnovers. Granted, the biggest one was the end of the game, but he got hit. We couldn't block. There's some bigger fish to fry there. Now, Will Howard playing for Kansas State in the Big 12, 2,600-yard passing season with 10 interceptions. That's the biggest part of this that concerns me is the 10 INTs. And it doesn't concern me necessarily just because of I don't think we can win if he throws 10 picks. It concerns me because this fan base will destroy him if he throws 10 interceptions next year. Now, because look at this. Kyle McCord didn't have a terrible season statistically, and we were winning. It's not like we weren't winning. So some people will say, hey, if he throws 10 picks, but we're winning games, I don't care. That's not necessarily true either, because I heard a lot of people frustrated, and McCord wasn't necessarily throwing picks either. So let's keep an eye on this. 2,600 yards, 10 INTs, but he did lead his team. He's a leader, and that's what I like about him. Me personally, love Will Howard. I want to see what you guys have to say. I love his leadership. That's one thing that we have to have with Ohio State next year, is a leader at the quarterback position that's going to rally them when they're in the huddle and there's a close game and we need to win. We need to have something happen. He's going to rally them. So from a skill set standpoint, I believe from a throwing standpoint, they're very similar. And I don't think Buckeyes fans want to hear that. I did watch him play. I would encourage you guys to go watch film. Don't just look at the stats. I hate being a stat watcher, so I did look at the film. He's a tall guy, bigger frame dude, but he's very similar in the way in which he throws the ball and the way in which he handles that situation. So skill set wise, he is very similar, but he has the experience and he has leadership. And that is what I like. He has that, what they would say, the dog in him, right? He's got that dog in him. But here's the caveat that no one's really looking at, but I think Buckeyes fans wanted to see this, even with CJ Stroud. They wanted to see it with Stroud, and that was using his feet. In 2023, Howard had 300 yards rushing and 9 touchdowns. 300 yards rushing, 9 touchdowns. The guy can get downhill and move. The dude's 6'5", 240. Okay, 6'5", 240 pounds. He is a big dude. All right, big freaking dude. Imagine 6'5", 240 coming downhill. You're in the secondary because he gets to the second level, and all of a sudden, you have to stop him. His longest touchdown run was 70 yards. Sorry, his longest run was 70 yards. He had 9 TDs, 350 yards rushing. You don't want to tackle a guy who's 6'5", 240 getting. So he has the ability to move with his legs and keep plays extended. And that's what I think is going to make the difference. Okay. The same thing that people wanted to see with Devin Brown, because the difference between Brown and McCord was that Brown could use his legs. Howard's got that. He's got the legs. He's got the experience. So if we can get past the fact that his skill set throwing wise and that it's very similar, it's oddly similar to what McCord does. If we can get past that and forgive him for that, we'll be happy because he can move with his legs. So anyway, I want to see what you guys think. Another big factor was, he's not built in this Ohio State system. He hasn't come up in it, so he might not understand the importance of the game. And they asked him about that, and I liked his response to it. I really enjoyed his response to that, and kind of settles Buckeyes fans' nerves, hearing that he understands the importance of the game. But that's one concern I do have. That being said, in this era of NIL and transfer portal, it's hard to keep a quarterback in the system that grows up in the system, that's from Ohio, who understands it, lifetime Buckeyes fan. It's hard to keep them. So moving forward, I don't know what to expect in that regard. So his answer to that sounds great. Now I want to see it. I'm excited for Will Howard. I'm excited for this. Honestly, I sat there and I wasn't like overly ecstatic, but I also don't know what I was expecting, because I was left with such a bitter taste in my mouth as a Buckeyes fan at the end of this last season. So I want to hear what you guys have to say. All right, I want to hear what you guys have to say. One last thing I want to throw in here for those who are listening is I'm going to have a link here in the description for this app called Athlete Narrative. If you are a parent or a coach and you have somebody that is a high school athlete or a college athlete that wants to build their brand for a very affordable cost of only $100 a month, there's an app called Athlete Narrative. I am an ambassador of that here at Scarlet and Great. We are going to be, it's a $90 a month subscription if you sign up with the link that I have in the description here, because you can get 10% off your monthly subscription. They will help take care of all of your social media and help build the brand and help educate athletes on the things such as writing checks. How do you get recruited? What's the letter you need to send to the recruiter? So if you're a high school athlete that's looking to build your brand, or you're a college athlete looking to build your brand and help yourself with your NIL so you can leverage your name, image, and likeness to monetize it, hit them up. Athlete Narrative. Again, Buckeyes fans, my name is Shane Larson. Excited to be here with you guys again. It's been a long time. I'm looking forward to chatting with you guys more. Hit the subscribe button, like the video, share it, And as always, please like give us your thoughts. That's the whole point of these videos. I want to interact with you guys. So let us know your thoughts here in the comments, and we'll talk to you guys next time. God bless and go Bucks.